So hey besties, come with me to make this absolutely super delicious snow crab leg and lobster seafood bake. If you want to know exactly how I made this recipe, make sure you follow along in this video. So first thing we did was got us a big pot of water, and I'm going to put in some of that shrimp and crab boil seasoning. I absolutely love this when I'm making my seafood boils on the stove. But before we get all the way into this video, make sure you follow your girl on all social media platforms posted above. After I got my crab and seafood boil packet in there, I went on ahead and started adding my seasonings to my water so I can go ahead and bring it to a boil. And as you can see, we were all the way out of Old Bay, so I have to go ahead to the market and get some more of that. So we're just going to go in with some Tony seasoning. I did use the last little bit of Old Bay that I had. I'm going to go ahead and add some of that Zatarain's shrimp and seafood boil, crab boil. I have never used this before. This is actually my first time using it. I do see a lot of people use it, so I did want to go ahead and try it. So we're gonna see how that goes. After I went on ahead and added in about 3 capfuls, because I know you don't need a lot, but I did have a lot of water, so I wanted to make sure I was getting it nice and flavorful. After that, I went on ahead and sprinkled in some parsley, because you know we fancy like that. And in addition to my parsley, we're gonna go ahead and with some lemon pepper, and I'm gonna make sure I add a good amount of that lemon pepper. After I get that lemon pepper in there, you know your girl gonna go ahead and add her in some of that smoked paprika. So I went on ahead and add me a good amount of that smoked paprika in there. Once I got my smoked paprika in there, it was time to go ahead and add in some of our onions. So we're going to go ahead and add in a half of onion. Now, if you have onion powder, you can use onion powder, but I'm using a whole onion, and I'm going to let that come to a boil. Now, while I'm waiting for my water and my seasonings to come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and start working on some of my ingredients. First thing I'm going to do is get my potatoes. I'm going to wash them off real good. If you want to peel them, you can. I just decided not to. It doesn't really matter to me if I have the skin on or the skin off. Went on ahead and cut my potatoes down the middle. Once I cut them down the middle, I went on ahead and started cubing them up. I wanted them kind of big, but not too big, where when they're done, they're not mushy and falling apart, but I can also make sure that I get them fork tender as well, because don't nobody want to be eating no hard potatoes. So after I got my potatoes cut, it was time to go ahead and cut me up some lemon. And if that lemon not one of the biggest lemons you've seen, I don't know if it's just me, but the lemons are getting big. Before they were tiny, and now they are huge, and I was struggling to cut that lemon. I don't know what was going on, but after I finally got my knife through, went on ahead and cut me up some lemon. Now my water has came to a boil. It's time to go ahead and start adding some of my ingredients. I went on ahead and added in my whole lemon. After that, I went on ahead and added in those potatoes that we cut up. After I got my potatoes in there, I did go ahead and let it boil, because my potatoes are going to take the longest out of everything that we're cooking. So we're going to go ahead and give that a few minutes and let it come back to a boil. In addition to my potatoes, I did decide I was going to go ahead and add in some egg as well, and we're going to go ahead and give that a few minutes to boil. Now while that's coming to a boil, we're going to go ahead and start working on our seafood. First thing we're going to do is start working on our lobster tails. I got 2 lobster tails, and we're just going to go ahead and split them right down the middle. Now you can fluff your lobster tail, but to me it's better to just split it when you're doing the seafood boil. Fluffing is more like when you're roasting it or you're doing like a surf and turf. That's just personally my opinion. You do it the way you like to do it, friend. So I went on ahead and got my lobster tail cut down the middle, checking the sides to see if it has any of that brown stuff on the side that we want to make sure that we get rid of. And then we're just going to go ahead to the other one. Make sure you got an extra sharp knife, or I like to use my kitchen scissors and just go straight down the middle of the lobster tail. It makes it so much easier. After I got that one cut down the middle, I'm going to go ahead and clean it off with some lemon juice, a little bit of vinegar, and some cool water. And then we are going to put that to the side until we are ready to use it. After we got our lobster tail prepared, we're going to go ahead and start working on the ingredients for our sauce. So for our sauce, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some onions, just the other half of the onions that I didn't use. We're going to use this for the sauce that we're going to make to pour on top. Now they say if you rinse the onion under some cold water, it will prevent you from tearing. I be trying that, friend, and I don't know if it be working for me. Y'all comment down below and let me know if it works for y'all. Once I got my onions cut, went on ahead, put it to the side. Now it's time to go ahead and cut up some of that fresh garlic. Now if you want to substitute this for onion powder and garlic powder, you can, but I just feel like the fresh ones make all of a difference. Now that our potatoes and our eggs is done, I went on ahead and removed that. Now it is time to go ahead and start to add in some of our other ingredients. And for our other ingredients, we're going to go ahead with our corn, because we want to to make sure we're cooking the things that take the longest first before we add in our seafood, because our seafood is not going to take that long. Went on ahead, added our corn, let that come to a boil, and now after it came to a boil for a few minutes, I'm going to go in with our crab legs. Once I got my crab legs in there, it was time to go ahead and start working on the sauce. So for the sauce, I'm just going to go ahead with some unsalted butter, some garlic, some onions, and the same exact seasonings that I used to make our crab boil, I'm going to use for our sauce, and I'm going to let that simmer. Once our corn and our crab legs was done, went on ahead, took that out, dropped our lobster tails in there, because our lobster tails is only going to take a few minutes. Once our lobster tails was ready, I got everything in a pan, my eggs, my corn, my potatoes, my lobster, my crab legs. Our sauce was done. It was time to go ahead and pour that sauce right on top. And when I tell you, this was so good, so quick, so easy. If you haven't made this, put this on your menu for the week.